In the fast-moving city of Lagos, where children learn traffic lights before tribal greetings and English before their mother tongue, lived two young lovers, Blessing and Nathan. They met as teenagers in secondary school. Blessing was gentle, intelligent, and soft-spoken. Nathan was confident, respectful, and driven. From the first day they sat beside each other in class, something clicked. What started as friendship slowly turned into love, the kind of love teachers noticed, classmates envied, and friends prayed for. Their friends called them soulmates. They grew together. When others drifted apart after graduation, Blessing and Nathan stayed strong. By the time they entered university, they were already known as the couple. They prayed together, planned together, and dreamed together. They talked about marriage often. One day, Nathan would say, "We'll leave this city and build a home filled with peace." Blessing would smile and reply, "Our children will know love before they know pain." But like many children raised in the city, Blessing and Nathan grew up far from their ancestral homes. Their parents believed city life meant success. Speaking fluent English was praised. Native language was dismissed as unnecessary. Village visits were postponed year after year. "We'll go next time. There's nothing there. The city is better for the children." Slowly, next time became never. So both of them don't really know their route. Blessing and Nathan were both raised in the city. Their parents believed city life meant progress. School was more important than village visits. English mattered more than native names or language. Holidays were for malls, not mud houses. Blessing barely knew her mother's village. Nathan had never stepped foot in his ancestral home. When older relatives asked, "Do you know where you're from?" they would laugh and say, "We are from Lagos." Blessing could not speak her native language. Nathan only knew his surname, not its meaning. Family history became a mystery no one bothered to solve. And yet, identity does not disappear just because it is ignored. No one insisted. No one warned them. And love continued to grow, blindly. After university, Nathan got a good job. Blessing started her career too. When he finally proposed, it felt like destiny aligning. Families rejoiced. Wedding plans began immediately. But tradition demanded one thing before the wedding: they must return to the village to perform marriage rites. It was supposed to be a formality, a celebration, a happy journey. But to their ancestors, it was a revelation time. They traveled together, holding hands, excited to finally see home. But home was about to reveal a truth the city had hidden. The elders gathered under the old tree. Names were called. Lineages were traced. Mothers' mothers were mentioned. Fathers' remembered. Suddenly, the air changed. One elder stood up slowly and asked Blessing's mother, "What was your mother's name again?" When she answered, murmurs filled the space. Another elder turned to Nathan's father. "And your grandmother, where was she buried?" Silence followed. Then the words fell like thunder. "These two are related." Blessing laughed nervously at first. Nathan shook his head. "There must be a mistake." But there was no mistake. Blessing's mother and Nathan's grandmother are blood related. They were blood relatives. The elders explained patiently. By tradition, relatives can only marry after the fourth generation. For Christians, after the third generation. Blessing and Nathan were still within the third generation. Their love, as pure as it was, could not become marriage. Blessing collapsed. Nathan shouted, Their parents wept, not just because of the discovery, but because of their own silence over the years. Some parents had known. Some had forgotten. Some had simply never cared enough to teach. Children were raised without their language. Without village visits. Without identity. And now, love had paid the price. If these children had known their roots earlier. If they had visited home. If stories had been told. This heartbreak could have been avoided. The city had taught them how to love. But the village taught them who they were. An identity won. Blessing refused to eat. Nathan couldn't sleep. They begged the elders. They prayed. They fasted. But truth does not bend for tears. Finally, they were told gently. Love is not always enough. Some battles must be released, not fought. They returned to the city, not as a couple, but as two broken people walking in opposite directions. Separation was harder than they imagined. Blessing battled depression. She blamed herself. She blamed her mother. She blamed God. Nathan became withdrawn. Angry. Lost. They both tried pretending they were fine. They weren't. Eventually, both families realized something else. This pain was too heavy to carry alone. Blessing was encouraged to see a counselor. At first, she resisted. But slowly, she learned to grieve properly, not just the loss of Nathan, but the future she had imagined. The separation almost broke them. For months, Blessing avoided places they used to visit together. Nathan deleted pictures, but memories refused to delete themselves. Healing was not automatic. Blessing kept attending counseling. At first, she sat quietly, arms folded, answering questions with one-word replies. But slowly, she began to speak. She spoke about betrayal, not by Nathan, but by silence. By lost history. By a childhood disconnected from her roots. Nathan sought spiritual guidance. He struggled with anger. He questioned why love had to suffer for something neither of them knew. But over time, he began to understand ignorance is not innocence. Identity matters. Both of them learned to forgive. Not just their parents, but themselves. Time moved forward. Blessing eventually met someone new. He was kind, patient, and deeply grounded in his culture. On their third date, he asked her, "Tell me about your people. Where are you from?" This time, she had an answer. She had gone back to learn. She had sat with elders. She had listened to stories. She had learned her language. She knew her lineage. And when she married, it was with full knowledge, no surprises waiting under a village tree. Nathan's story unfolded differently, but beautifully too. He met a woman who respected tradition and valued family history. Before anything became serious, they both sat with their parents and traced their roots carefully. There would be no repeated heartbreak. When Nathan finally stood under another tree, this time smiling, the elders nodded in approval. No tension. No whispers. Only joy. Years later, something remarkable happened. Blessing and Nathan, now married to different spouses, became parents. And they made a promise. Their children would know who they are. They would speak their native language at home. They would visit the village every year. They would know their grandparents. They would hear stories of their ancestors. Because identity is not optional. It is protection. One Christmas season, by coincidence, both families visited the village at the same time. Blessing saw Nathan from a distance. Their eyes met, not with pain, but with gratitude. No bitterness. No regret. Just understanding. They smiled at each other, two people who once loved deeply, who were now healed completely. Their children ran around them, laughing in the language their parents once could not speak. And in that moment, the past no longer hurt. It had taught. Sometimes love is not meant to last forever. Sometimes it is meant to teach forever. Blessing and Nathan never married each other. But their story became a warning and a lesson. Because love without knowledge can destroy hearts. A city can raise a child, but only home can explain who that child truly is. Take your children home. Let them know their names. Their people. Their bloodline. So love doesn't become a loss. And joy doesn't turn into lifelong regret. Teach your children their native language. Take them to the village. Tell them where they came from. Because when identity is ignored, love can unknowingly become forbidden. And some heartbreaks are completely avoidable. Moral of the story. Before you leave today, pause for a moment. Blessing and Nathan's story is not just a story. It is someone's reality. It is a warning wrapped in heartbreak. And it is a lesson wrapped in love. They loved deeply. They lost painfully. But they rose wisely. And maybe that's the message for you tonight. Some of you watching have children growing up in the city. Some of you have not visited your village in years. Some of you have stopped speaking your native language at home. Ask yourself, what part of your child's identity is quietly fading? Because culture is not old-fashioned. Language is not outdated. Roots are not optional. They are protection. They are history. They are belonging. And if this story touched you, if it reminded you of something you almost forgot, then don't let this just be another video you watched and moved on from. Let it be a turning point. Take your children home. Tell them where they come from. Teach them who they are. So that their love stories will be filled with celebration, not confusion. If this message spoke to your heart, please subscribe to this channel. We don't just tell stories here. We tell stories that heal. Stories that warn. Stories that awaken. Like this video so more families can see it. Share it with a parent who needs to hear this. And comment below, roots matter. Let's start a movement of identity, healing, and wisdom. Until next time. May your home be full of love. May your children know their story. And may your roots always guide your future.